Imagine living in a town with only two streets. You know everyone, everyone knows you. Everyone is always waiting, always watching for the next big thing to happen. An example of a small town like this is North Star, where my dad grew up. I love the feel of the town, and I love hearing his stories about what life was like there. I have many fond memories in this town, such as when we could not find my mother. We have also explored an abandoned gas station, and we obviously love listening to my dad's hilarious stories. North Star is a little town filled with exciting memories that make me think of and appreciate my family. One memory I cherish most that took place in this town is when we managed to lose my mother. We were at a graduation party and we got bored, so we decided to go walk around the town. We walked around for a while and then we split up so my mom could go find a bathroom. My dad, my brother, and I went to go look at some of my dad's old friends' houses because he likes to show us them and tell us stories. So when we went back to find my mother, where we had last seen her, we could not find her anywhere. So I texted her and she didn't answer. My dad called her and got her on the phone, and she gave us the worst ever, like, oh, I'm just over here by the tree. And that was awful. How do we find her with that? So we searched forever, but she must have been moving too because it took us about a half hour to find her. So yeah. While looking frantically for Mother, I saw this old gas station that I wanted to look at further, which sounds weird, but it was actually really cool. So as I said, when we finally found my mom, I remembered the gas station and forced my family to come back and look at it with me. So it was really run down, and the sign for gas said it was $1, so that was obviously really old. So my brother goes out back and hears like some rustling in a wood pile. So my dad grabs a stick and pokes it, and a big frog hops out. Something you need to know before we go further is that my mother is irrationally terrified of frogs. So this frog hops out towards my brother, and she is already screaming and running the other direction. So my brother loves frogs, so he just calmly picked it up and put it back in the pile. So after my mother's horrible experience, we decided it was time to head home for the day. Being in North Star this day with my family reminded me of another time that I was in the town and a story that my dad told me. We were walking around and my dad points out one of his friend's house. Oh, hey, my friend used to live there, he says. I knocked down his chimney once. I asked him to elaborate because what do you say to that? So I'll give you a briefing of his story. He lived across the road from his friend, so he went over there and they were having a party, and there was obviously some alcohol involved because they all ended up on this kid's roof. So someone decided that the smartest way to get down would be to slide down like this tile thingies. So they did that, but my dad was going a little too fast, so he grabs the chimney to slow down, but apparently he grabbed it a little more roughly than he thought he did because the whole thing comes toppling over. So that was fun to hear, and I love telling my friends about that story because it's really funny. So I love spending time with my family in this town and learning stories like this one. North Star is a microscopic town filled with memories that make me think of and appreciate my family. I've had some interesting experiences here, such as losing my mom and seeing my mom traumatized by a frog. I've also learned about a lot of things, such as my dad was not a great kid. This town might only have two streets, but it has the fondest memories.